We're going to have some fun, but before I start, don't take none of this personal. It's just comedy.
The Jell-O program, starring Jack Benny with Mary Livingston and Phil Harris and his orchestra.
Thank you. This is Groucho Marx. Well, here I am, stepping in over my head again.
With Fibber McGee and Molly.
Folks, this is just as new to me as it is to you.
Hello? Hello, Mr. Benny, this is Rochester.
The Great Gildersleeve.
Well, what an original greeting.
Hello and welcome to another week of comedy, funny, haha, on Dwayne Old Time Radio. One thing, please subscribe to my channel. If you enjoy what I'm doing, subscribing is 100% free. Also, one more thing, if you have a few seconds or 1 minute, please leave a review on your preferred podcast service, especially if you're on Apple, Spotify, or really just your preferred podcast service. Thank you and hope you enjoy.
And now, get ready to smile again with radio's home folks, Vic and Sade. Well, sir, it's late afternoon as we enter the small house halfway up in the next block down. And here in the kitchen, we find Mr. Victor Gook and his son, Mr. Rush Gook. Mr. Victor Gook has drawn the kitchen table over by the sink where the light's the best, and he's doing a spot of office work at home. And Mr. Rush Gook, who just this moment arrived from school, removes his cap and overcoat. Listen.
Not through there, Gav?
I am through with the actual labor. All I have to do now is copy some figures neatly on a sheet of paper.
It's all right if I talk then, huh?
You go ahead.
Mom's not upstairs?
Mom's next door, chewing the fat with Ma Donahue. What's on your mind?
I've been doing considerable thinking about the party we're going to have a week from Saturday.
Reach me my eraser. I dropped it on the floor.
That party was taken right out of my hands, you know.
So I understand.
Here.
Thanks.
Mom started out by making me official host. The party was to be in honor of Nicer Scott, and I was going to be in charge of all arrangements. But she figured too many people would have to be invited, so she decided to leave out the kids. And took over the arrangements herself.
You see the good sense of that, don't you? We can't get the population of the United States in this modest dwelling.
No, just the same.
What exactly is your beef?
If I could be reinstated as official host, I'd put on a party you'd hear about.
You have my sympathy, Crabmeat, but I don't see what I can do about the matter.
Well, I was thinking maybe you could persuade Mom.
To reinstate you as official host?
Yeah.
It's hardly in my department.
You'll be present at the party a week from next Saturday. You'll want to have a bang-up time, won't you?
Sure.
The plans I got worked out would guarantee you a bang-up time.
That's so?
You'd have so much enjoyment you'd never forget it.
Tell Papa.
All afternoon I've been running stuff through my head.
You went to school this afternoon, didn't you?
Yeah, but I never paid much attention in class. My mind was busy on sensational arrangements for this party. I got stunts worked out people will talk about for the next 50 years.
Sounds like you plan a social function of a rather ambitious nature.
I do.
Reach me my racer again, will you? I seem to be all butterfingers today.
You know what the party will be like if Mom gives it, don't you?
No, what?
It'll be... Here's your racer.
Thanks.
Dull.
The party will be dull under your mother's management?
Well, maybe dull is a harsh word.
Maybe it is.
Maybe ordinary is better. The people will come here. They'll hang their hat and coat in the hall. They'll all go in the living room and sit down. They'll talk back and forth. After a while, Mom will whip out ice cream and cake. They'll talk a while longer. Pretty soon they say goodnight and go home. Party's all over.
That setup don't appeal to you, huh?
No. It's like everybody else's party. There's nothing different about it.
Let's hear some of your ideas.
Can I expect cooperation from you if I confide in you?
Cooperation?
Will you try to persuade Mom I ought to be reinstated as official host?
Well, frankly, Margaret, I don't think I could throw much weight. Your mother's decisions on matters like this are generally pretty cut and dried.
Well, you could try. You could come whooping in all excited and slap her on the back and say, "By golly, Sade, that Rush sure has rung the bell. He's got stunts lined up for this party a week from Saturday that'll make you jump over the People's Bank building." The basketball cheerleader, Nate Crabtree, wrote a sentence on the blackboard at a pep meeting we had last week. Sentence was, "Enthusiasm is contagious."
Enthusiasm is contagious?
Enthusiasm is contagious. And that's supposed to be true. Look, pretty soon Mom will be home. Suppose when she opens the door, you jump out of your chair like a skyrocket and say, "By gosh, kiddo, that doggone Rush has got stunts doctored up for this party a week from Saturday that'll make you swallow your shoes." Enthusiasm is contagious. Work it right and you'll have Mom reinstating me as official host in 40 seconds.
Well, what are some of these stunts of yours?
Got 'em right here in my pocket, wrote down on a piece of paper.
In the past, Melon Seed, I've noticed you're apt to show a tendency to lean towards impractical extremes. I approve of the happy fires of youth and all that, but I've reached a conservative age.
Listen to these.
Okay.
2 physicians and 3 trained nurses in constant attendance.
How's that?
If I'm reinstated as official host of the party, I'm going to have a platform in the front hallway. On this platform will be 5 chairs. In the chairs will be seated 2 doctors and 3 nurses, all dressed in white.
What's the idea?
Suppose somebody gets sick at the party.
Why should anybody get sick?
Well, some might eat too much ice cream. Others might get exhausted laughing at the jolly jokes. You can't ever tell. People are human beings and liable to get sick any minute of the day or night. Anyway, it gives class to a party. Innocent bystanders downtown will be saying, "Hey, Walter, hear about the big social function they had on Virginia Avenue. 2 doctors and 3 nurses was hired to keep eye on the guests." There'll be a piece in the newspaper. One of the most stylish events of the whole pleasure-crazed social season was given last night by Mr. Rush Cook of Virginia Avenue. Among those present was... and so forth and so on.
Got any more fancy features?
Got plenty. For one thing, I'm going to call the fire department.
You don't contemplate livening up the party by setting the house on fire?
Oh, no.
I was somewhat apprehensive. I love to see people have fun at my home, but I draw the line.
Here's the angle. Along about 9:30 in the evening, parties kind of sag. Appreciate the angle I'm attempting to put across? Different guests start yawning, and the official host begins to get desperate. He wonders, what the heck had I better do to put some pep in things? Well, I got that problem solved. I'm going to telephone the fire department.
False alarm?
Sure. Everybody enjoys watching fire wagons. And these fire wagons will stop right in front of our house. Great sport for everybody.
I have a discouraging note.
Yeah?
There's a severe penalty for turning in false alarms.
Is there?
10 years in jail or something. You can see for yourself that while the fire engines are coming here on a false alarm, a real fire might break out somewhere and make it disagreeable all around.
Yeah. Well, guess I better cross that one off my list.
Might be the best thing. What's your next stunt?
There'll be a policeman in uniform at the party. He'll walk around among the people all during the evening and sort of keep an eye on things.
You're afraid our guests will steal the spoons?
No,
What are you afraid they'll steal?
nothing. The policeman will just be an ornament. He'll add tone to the party. Keep order and see that nobody makes a disturbance.
Very fashionable.
Ain't it, though?
I imagine the people we invite to the party will be greatly flattered.
Sure.
Of course, I hope your policeman don't find it necessary to hit any of our friends over the head with his billy club.
Oh, he won't do anything like that. He'll just mingle with the crowd. Of course, if groups start ganging up in doorways and stuff, he'll come along and holler, break it up, in a friendly sort of way. That ought to get printed in the newspaper, too. Among the stylish features at Mr. Rushcook's big social event Saturday night was the presence of a police officer who prevented riots and various other crimes. Hot stuff?
Yeah. Tell me more of your plans.
All right, here's the big super special stunt. Everybody's going to get tattooed with my compliments.
Tattoo?
Yeah. There's a tattoo fella that's just started up business down on West Evans Street. I'm going to hire him to come out here the night of the party and tattoo all the various guests.
You gonna tattoo pictures on them?
No, words. In memory of the finest social event I ever attended. Mr. Rushcook's party, March 12th, 1938. How you like that?
It's certainly different.
Another idea of mine is to have 35...
I believe that's all I got time for now, Harriet.
Going someplace?
Yeah, got these figures all copied. Think I'll stroll down to the office with them.
Well, will you work on mine?
Sure.
Persuade her I ought to be reinstated as official host at the party.
Okay.
You can see for yourself, I'll really put on a social function if I get the chance.
No doubt about it. What you gonna do now?
Telephone Rooster Davis. He'll be greatly interested in my various stunts. 4678J, please. Correct. I can trust you, can't I?
How you mean?
Not to be telling my plans around town.
Oh, sure.
I'm going to bind Rooster to secrecy.
I won't breathe it to a soul. Well, if your mother gets home before I do, tell her I've gone.
Okay.
So long.
So long. Hello, Rooster?
Well, sir, it's early evening as we enter the small house halfway up in the next block now. And here in the living room, we find our friends abiding quietly at home. Mr. Victor Gook is established at the library table, playing himself a dashing game of solitaire. Mrs. Victor Gook occupies her husband's easy chair, reading the newspaper, and young Mr. Rushcook, on the Davenport, stares unseeingly at the pages of his algebra textbook. And now there's conversation. Listen.
Want to meet me downtown tomorrow afternoon?
What for?
Talking to your father.
Are you referring to the purchase of a hat?
Yeah. Suppose you leave the office around 3:30 or so, and we'll meet in at Kleeberger's.
Oh, shucks, Aid. I can buy my own hat.
No, you can't.
You people talking about hats.
What you do is dash in the store like a house afire and take the first thing they showed you.
Since organized society credits me with sufficient intelligence to permit me to walk the public streets without a straitjacket, it might be assumed that I'm smart enough to purchase an article of wearing apparel without guardianship and supervision. Hey, how'd you like that sentence?
Pretty good.
My next address is scheduled for Tuesday at 2 o'clock.
Shall we do that then?
Oh, heck, I'll drop by Kleeberger's tomorrow on my way home from work.
Yes, and what would you buy?
I'd buy
Some great big old wide-brim cowboy thing. No, sir. I'm going with you. Let's say 3 o'clock. We'll meet in at Kleeberger's and see what they got, and then step over to Hamilton's and Silver's.
I don't want to traipse all over town just to buy a doggone hat.
You want to see what the different stores have, don't you?
You're so fidgety I could
Hats
scream.
generally run you $5. $5 is quite an outlay for people in our circumstances. Pays to shop around. That's the way I do. Why, before I buy a 10-cent wash rag, I make the rounds.
That's because you enjoy looking at junk and chewing the fat with clerks.
I enjoy getting the most for my money. That's what I enjoy.
Smelly Clark's Uncle Strap enjoys quite a reputation for being a spendthrift.
Does he?
Yeah. Why, take that occasion when he escorted his lady friend to Peoria for purposes of enjoying fish dinner.
You told us that.
When?
I don't know. The other day. Sometime.
I know I started to tell her.
Him and this girl went to Peoria and ate fish.
They didn't eat fish.
No?
No. That's the whole point of the story. They planned to eat fish, but fate intervened. And there's enough comical details in the story to choke a horse. And the conclusion of the story is so funny you'll roll on the floor. Here's the way it goes. It just so happened that Smelly Clark's Uncle Strap took it in his head to escort his lady friend to Peoria for purposes of enjoying fish dinner. On the way, an argument sprung up, and Smelly Clark's Uncle Strap informed his lady friend.
Here's more or less on the order what I want you to have, Vic. Pardon me, Willie.
Common courtesy.
I want to show your father this picture in the paper. Vic.
Hold it up.
It's a Kleeberger advertisement, too. How do you like that hat?
The brim's too narrow.
Now listen, mister. If you think we're going downtown tomorrow and buy you a broad-brimmed hat, you're mighty badly mistaken. You're not any cowboy from Pennsylvania, you know. You're a businessman, and you have to wear something neat and conservative.
Bunk.
I'll say. Yes, I think this is just about the ticket. I'll tell Kleebergers to show it to me first thing. I'll say I want to look at the hat they advertised in the paper.
You think it's just about the ticket? You'll tell Kleeberger so-and-so. I'm the slob that's going to wear the doggone hat.
You'd buy a hat that looked like the inside of a gunny sack if you got a chance.
If I choose to wear a hat that looks like the inside of a gunny sack, whose business?
I'll tear this out. Take it along with me tomorrow. You know the name of it?
Name of what?
This hat?
No.
The Baltimore Banker.
What?
The Baltimore Banker. That's printed underneath. Here's a lid for younger fellas. The brim twists up flashy on the side, and there's a feather sticking in the ribbon. The Boulevard Strutter.
That's foolishness.
Yeah, it's kind of, ain't it?
Mom, I am still waiting to tell the story I started.
Oh, Smelly's uncle went to Peoria and ate fish.
Smelly's uncle did not go to Peoria and eat fish.
His lady friend ate fish.
His lady friend did not eat fish.
What'd she eat?
It just so happened that Smelly Clark's Uncle Strap took it in his head to escort his lady friend to Peoria for purposes of
enjoying fish dinner. Yes. What happened?
On the way, an argument sprung up, and Smelly Clark's uncle...
Telephone ringing.
And Smelly Clark's uncle...
I bet $40, that's Ruthie.
500?
She kind of halfway said this morning she thought Fred would probably feel like playing.
Smelly Clark's uncle...
How about it?
Okay.
Informed his lady
friend... You have to be quiet, Willie. Hello? Oh, yes, lady. Oh, sitting here with our shoelaces and our eyelets. Why, say, I think that'd be fine. Just a second. Mr. and Mrs. Dumpty Doodle up the street want to know if we could stand a game of 500. Vic says glorious, Ruthie. Hear the name I give you? Yeah, Mr. and Mrs. Dumpty Doodle. Yeah. Well, we'll look for you then. All right, lady. All right. Goodbye. They're coming here. Leaving right now. Better put on your shoes.
Fred takes his off as soon as he gets in the door.
Yeah, but you're the host. You going to be around, Buster?
I have not as yet formulated...
Because if you are, we can wait about the ice cream. Otherwise, you'd better trot to the drugstore right now.
Perhaps you would...
What do you do with that advertisement I tore out? Oh, here. This is just about what I want. The Baltimore Banker.
The brim on that hat's too narrow, say.
It is not.
It is, too. I look like a peeled onion.
You're no wild western cowpuncher. You just can't get away with enormous, floppy, wide-brimmed hats. Goodness, why don't you buy a lasso?
And another thing. You said you wanted me to leave the office at 3 o'clock. That's taken off 2 whole hours. Is it your intention to make me try on hats for 2 whole hours?
I want to see what Kleeberger's has got, and I want to see what Hamilton's and Silver's has got.
I got the willies running from store to store.
Whose fault is that?
About 20 minutes of stalling around talking to half-wit clerks, and I feel like screaming.
Brush, if you're going to be here when Mr. and Mrs. Stembottom come, you have to comb that hair. Looks fierce. Trot along and untangle it. You don't want company to catch you looking like an eagle's nest. Well, we don't have to make it 3 o'clock if you don't like leaving the office so soon. say 3:30 or 3:45.
Why the heck can't I drop by Kleeberger's on my way home from work at 5?
Because I have to be there with you to see you get what's right.
Or as that goes, my presence ain't even necessary.
And I suppose you're going to be all sulky tomorrow, like you generally are when we buy you clothes.
Yes, I shall be all sulky.
The clerks get the notion you're a little on the loony side. You don't ever say anything. You just stand and act sour.
What is there for me to say? You do all the talking.
No, but just the same.
Let's try this one on, Victor. No, keep your hands away. I'll fix it. Won't even let me try on my own hat.
No, because you take it and jam it down on your head like a frying pan.
Remember what that fool in Hamilton said last time we bought me a hat?
No.
He says, ask him if it's too tight, madam.
Uh-huh.
Halfwit thought I wasn't right.
Well, you certainly didn't behave right. Stood there like a statue, staring straight ahead of you while I put hats on your head.
Think I'll buy my doggone hats like Buller buys his.
How's he do?
Calls up on the telephone. Says, send me a hat, size 7.5.
Oh, land.
If the fella in the store asks him what color and what shape and so on, he says, I said send me a hat, size 7.5. I don't give a hoot what color or what shape. I want a hat size 7.5. And I'll pay between $5 and $7. You got my orders. I'll expect somebody from your store here in my office in the next 10 minutes.
Oh, land.
The way I think I'll handle it.
You will not. You'll meet me tomorrow afternoon, and we'll pick out something neat and conservative with a halfway civilized size brim. 3:30 suit you? We'll meet in Kleeberger's. It's a date, huh? Is it a date?
Okay.
Rush, what ails you? Sitting there looking like you'd been eating crab apples.
I realize I'm only a common, ordinary American citizen, but when I get halfway through a comical story,
Well, tell your story, goodness. Smelly Clark's uncle ate fish in Peoria.
Smelly Clark's uncle did not eat fish in Peoria.
His lady friend ate fish.
His lady friend did not eat fish.
What'd she eat?
It just so happened that Smelly Clark's Uncle Strap took it in his head to escort his lady friend to Peoria for purposes of enjoying fish dinner. On the way, an argument sprung up, and
There's
Smelly
our
Clark,
pal.
Uncle Strap,
Yeah, Fred Ruthie. Slip on your shoes and straighten that library table.
informed his lady friend.
Don't let him in, Rush.
Thank you for listening, and I hope you enjoyed. As always, you can listen to my podcast on all podcast services. You can also go to my website, otr.duane.media, to listen to all of my podcasts. There is donation information, patron information, and more all on the website. The website is slowly improving. Thank you for your patience. It takes a while to update and add information to the website, but it's getting there. You can also find me on Instagram, Duane.otr. You can also email me if you want, info@otr.duane.media. Hope you enjoyed, and until next time, stay safe, wish you well, and as always, peace.